So I'm using this trend as an excuse to rant about the Regretivator fandom for a hot minute. So for starters, this is a pretty simple question. But why are we normalizing dark shipping? And it's not like this doesn't happen in any other fandom. It just feels like some of the fanbase seems to blend them in too closely with normal, healthy ships. And I get it, not everyone reads the storyline or is playing it for the lore, but please do your research before idolizing ships like Parasite Beetle, the most common I've seen, Webverus Nodria Merbony, Alien Bucket, Hairstone which I don't see, and Catstone. And don't say, baby's first fandom. That doesn't excuse romanticizing or sexualizing extremely abusive relationships. This doesn't include ships like Chicken Beetle, Party Beetle, Doublebow Mazel X Statalicia, Walmart, and the list goes on, because no abuse is found in these ships. They just dislike or hate each other, or it's one-sided. And don't get me wrong, I love my toxic Yowie as much as the next person Chicken Beetle, because they have no history of harming each other besides bland threats, unlike Parasite Beetle. And if it's hypocritical because it technically falls in the enemies to lovers trope, that trope is not and will never be equivalent to actual physical and mental abuse between the characters. My next rant, the mischaracterization is crazy. No, Pest is not your alpha dominant hot, edgy emo guy who's actually a softie for like half the characters. And as my job as a total nerd of a Pest fan, I feel like people who are very deep into the fandom should know that. He's a completely complex character who represents being a misfit, a societal reject, a narcissist that only knows how to act from how they grew up. I hate to break it to you, but he does not care about Party Noob at all besides them being an informant and a horrible one at that. Oh yeah, and he's also supposed to be a feminine character, to be creepy in an appearance way, a horrible personality and action-wise. But he's also not an abuser, because he actually went through years of torture which where do you get that? He prevents himself from physically hurting anyone, saying if he wanted to he could. And I'm not excusing his behavior or actions whatsoever, but I personally think people shouldn't portray him as this masculine 6'7" buff dude who protects his ecodons. This also goes for Folly, because while she did abuse Pest in prison, she had an explanation for it, not an excuse. After being corrupted by TGO, she became a parasite, which means she has to feed off of people in order to complete her goal and side of the deal to achieve freedom in death. And this is absolutely not any hate to the Regretivator fandom, because it's the best fandom I've ever been in. Most of the community is extremely nice, and I've met amazing people in it despite its alleged horrid repetition. I hope this was taken as constructive criticism, because that's what my intention was. Anyways, B33 tell 3BOY Milo out.